This is Rayman
Blue.
and we're going to be discussing how incredible is The Incredibles in a two-part thing. So, for the first video, we're going to discuss the first movie. So what are your... We're not going to talk about the plot much since it's been out for over 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
But Blue, what is your reaction to seeing the movie?
Well, this is a movie, of course, I grew up with. This is like a movie from my childhood. I love this movie. And I still love this movie. We watched it actually recently for these videos. And it's as good as like it was back then. Plus the art holds up after so long too.
I didn't really grow up with The Incredibles. I think I only watched it once as a kid. However, over the past few months, I've watched it like 3 times because it's actually fantastic. So my first question to you, Blue, is if you could have any superpower, which one would it be?
Oh man, that's a good one. Probably something water-based or maybe the ability to fly. Which I know is a very generic answer, but I personally love the idea of flying.
I'd like the power of making the sequel incredible, but we'll cover that next video.
Oh man.
So, so we're going to talk about the themes, mainly family, and the villain, and some little details about it.
Yeah.
So the first thing is, what makes this movie great? It's like about an hour and 40 minutes.
Hour and so, yeah.
But during this time, they actually go through character arcs for the 4 protagonists.
Yeah, basically.
Baby doesn't count.
No, baby's just a baby.
But that's what I kind of love is each one has this character arc. Mr. Incredible learns he needs to not rely on himself.
Yes.
He needs to work with other people.
Mm-hmm.
Dash becomes more mature throughout the film. He starts he starts noticing, he's like, no, I need to do this.
Yeah.
Violet becomes more assertive with who she is, what she wants to do.
Yeah, more open with her personality and how she presents herself.
And Elastigirl also comes from with Violet of, hey, we need to be together as a family.
Yeah.
And tries to actually kind of like hold his family together.
Yeah, like she becomes more confident in what she wants to do and all that.
Yeah. So, which character arc do you think was done the best?
That's a good question. All of them are like really good in their own way. I think since it mainly focuses on Bob's, I would have to say Bob since it gives more like detail about that and all that.
Yeah.
But my personal favorite character has always been Violet.
Same here.
So I'm biased towards her character arc too, though.
I'm biased towards the kind of gothy characters.
Yeah.
But I think Bob's was kind of done fantastic because throughout the movie you see him like he's just this fat man working at this health insurance agency.
Yeah. And he wants to relive the old days. He misses the old days. He's kind of stuck in that.
Yeah. But so eventually when Mirage finds him and starts buttering his bed like, hey, you're a really cool guy. You're a superhero. You don't need to do this. He's like, yeah, he grows this ego.
He does.
His name is literally Mr. Incredible.
Yeah.
He has a huge ego.
Yeah.
But the funny thing about this film is you see the ego rise, not necessarily ego, but more of like arrogance of him rise. And he realizes, hold on, I need to step back. This is my family. We need to work as a team.
Yeah.
Which is fantastic.
It is beautiful. Also, one thing I never noticed as a kid that I notice now is like during the beginning, whenever like Mirage is like before she targets like Mr. Incredible and all that, you like see her in a car obviously whenever they're listening to the radio scanner, like the police scanner, and you think she's talking about Mr. Incredible, but actually like she's talking about Frozone.
Yeah, she was originally looking for Frozone.
Yeah, that was her original target, but then she changed her mind after they like kind of saved that building and all that.
Yeah, it's like, cause that's what Syndrome wanted. We'll get to that a little later.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like, she's like, man, this is incredible. Dash, he's 10, so his character arc isn't like life.
super big.
Yeah, but it's
enough of an impact for his age.
yeah, it's like a 10-year-old learns, hey, I need to become more serious. Like at first he's like just grabbing things, he's acting kind of childish, like we're gonna die, we're alive but we're dead, and just walking down caves when it's like nobody sticks together.
Yeah.
And throughout the film, he actually just like he really like, oh shoot, no, I need to save my sister, or I need to. Actually, when the big metal thing was about to crush him, he runs away.
Yeah.
He starts thinking critically. Which, for 10, that's a big thing.
And one of my favorite scenes that like really shows how much he loves his family and also kind of shows his maturity a little bit is whenever they're like trying to run from these people in the jungle. One of them tries to shoot Violet and almost gets her, but then like Dash comes in and kind of saves her, and then he like goes and tries to like punch him with all of his 10-year-old strength. Yeah. Like, don't hurt my sister.
Yeah, it's like that's a very cute moment.
It is. It's really cute.
Because here's the thing, like lots of family things I noticed, like the family is dysfunctional, they hate each other. But in this one, well, there's problems. At the end of the day, they just love each other.
Yeah, no, like it shows that they're a family that loves each other.
Yeah, which is fantastic. Violet's incredible arc is she stops being so like kind of like antisocial and becomes more assertive.
Yeah, she like is very, very shy and closed off in the beginning, but it shows her like opening herself up more. First instance we see that is that she pulls her hair back so it's not hiding her face when she's wearing a new suit. And like in the end, whenever they like are there for Dash's like competition, she's wearing pink. She like has a headband to pull her hair back. Like very bright colors, and also like the pulling her hair back again shows like how she wants to show herself more. When before she just kind of hid in dark clothing and her hair and all that.
Yeah, like when we first see Violet, she has kind of these big kind of like she has a big sweater on, where her entire appearance is just hidden.
Yeah.
Kind of like I don't know if you've seen the movie, but The Breakfast Club.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot the character's name, but she was the one chick had like black hair who just hid her entire appearance, like she hid in the back of the room. But at the end of the movie, she starts wearing like pink. She pulls her hair back and starts being like, hey, you know, showing my face to just socialize with people.
Yeah. And that's one thing I just like thought about now is that like at the beginning she's very much like her power, invisibility and all that. But towards the end we see her like use her power for invisibility, but also like another power like force field and all that, which kind of becomes more of like her thing as she like opens up more. And Dash's power is like, you know, running very fast. That's kind of how he is. He's all over the place. He's like has the attention span of like a squirrel or something. You know, he's kind of everywhere, but he kind of learns to control that.
Yeah, I kind of like how their powers at first represent who they were.
Yeah.
But they become opposite in the sense of Dash, super fast. It's like a 10-year-old. They don't have much attention span.
Yeah.
But he actually starts thinking, hey, throw the remote, I'm going to go chase it. Oh, this cave, I can run in water. Oh, shoot, they're here.
Yeah, he starts thinking critically about how to use his powers and all that. And Violet, she uses more of like her force fields and all that instead more like her invisibility, which kind of seems like she's showing it's like, I'm not going to hide myself anymore.
Yeah, the force fields actually make you this kind of bigger target. It's like this purple force field. When invisibility would hide you, like.
Yeah.
But she starts showing herself.
Yeah.
So I think the kids' character arcs are actually a little interesting because their powers become the opposite of who they are.
Yeah, which is interesting. And even though their powers are still kind of like the opposite of how they become, they still kind of show more of their like personality that they gain in their powers by like starting to use them a bit more like tactfully and all that.
Yeah. The last character arc is Elastigirl.
Mm-hmm.
By far, even though this movie is like about Bob, really it feels more like even between Bob and Helen.
Yeah, I agree.
It feels like they're both the protagonists.
Yeah.
And her thing is kind of keeping the family together. She's kind of like the heart of the family.
Mm-hmm.
Which is kind of she does this literal by she will like grab multiple members of the family and hold them together.
Yeah, exactly.
But she also learns to kind of, instead of like in the beginning of the movie, Bob and Helen are arguing. They're just screaming. They're not really communicating. But by the end, they actually talk to each other like, "Hey, here's the problems. Here's what's wrong. We need to work together." It's like, well, why? It's like, can't lose you again.
Yeah.
Instead of like being like, "Oh, just your ego," it's like she actually starts looking inwards and is like, "Hey, we need to work together.
Yeah.
We need to be honest."
Yeah. Instead of like trying to change the other person, it's like we need to like work together and use like both of our powers and like our how we are and everything to kind of make this work and all that.
Yeah.
Which really shows like a big change in their relationship too.
Yeah.
Because like you said, they're fighting at the beginning. Bob wants to relive the old days. Helen's moved on, but even though that's still kind of the case towards the end of the movie, you know, they still kind of work together.
Yeah. Because by the end of the movie, it's like, even though we're that'll be on to the Incredibles too.
Yeah.
How they kind of just contradict each other.
Yeah.
But her character arc is kind of like she was like, we need to be heroes again.
Yeah.
Overall, I think all the characters are like fantastic.
I agree.
There's never a bad moment with them.
No, it's like all very good. Even like the freaking babysitter, who we don't even see much of unless you watch like the little Pixar short. She even like is a really interesting character.
Have you seen the Pixar short?
I have.
I have. How is it?
It is actually really good. It's kind of like basically focuses on how she's babysitting Jack Jack. We'll watch it after this.
Alright. Interested in seeing that. But yeah, I kind of like this movie because there's never a dull moment. The action scenes are fun because you're trying to actually kind of see where they go. Like, especially the ending fight with the robot. You can actually notice little details of the geography of the land is actually still the same, and I like that. It's like, oh, he went across the this entire pond, and you see the family on the other side of the pond.
Yeah.
So.
And like at one point, whenever like Bob's wrestling with the arm, like he's about getting ready to like launch it, you can, even though it focuses on like the other characters as they're trying to figure out how to deal with this, you can see him in the back like struggling to hold on to it.
Yeah, it's like I love the little details.
I do too.
What makes it a really good film is that there's hidden details throughout it. That's like, oh shoot, I remember that, or ooh, this.
Yeah.
Because that's always important. Which. So now on to the villain.
I love the villain.
Syndrome is fantastic.
He is absolutely amazing. He's such a fun villain.
Okay. So when you first see him, he's this little boy who's like, I want to be along with you.
Yeah, I want to be here just like you. You're like my inspiration.
Go away, Roomba. But yeah, like, he's a fanboy.
He is. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, like I remember being a little kid, I loved Master Chief from Halo.
Yeah.
I would often imagine myself as him, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna kill these aliens.
Exactly. And like, during that time, Syndrome, or Buddy, as we like knew him whenever he was a kid, he couldn't have been more than like 10 or like 12,
yeah.
You know?
He was literally in charge of the Mr. Incredible's fan club.
He was. He loved this man.
And that's what's kind of... Like, you can actually see that, like, this person loved this man, like, not like, this is my role model.
Yeah.
I want to be a hero.
Yeah.
But then don't meet your heroes because you realize they're human.
Yeah, and we see Bob, of course, treating him like a nuisance, like he's getting in the way and everything. Which, I mean, he is, but
yeah.
He's a kid. He wouldn't know that.
Yeah, like, I actually like that because it's morally gray, and what I mean by that is, like, you can see, like, you know, if Bob, this is a little kid.
Yeah.
If you treat the little kid better, Syndrome wouldn't have existed.
Yeah.
But obviously you don't want to put the kid in danger.
Exactly. Like at the same time, this kid was like getting in the way of like him trying to do his job and all that.
Yeah, like bon voyage.
Yeah. Like he thought he was trying to help, but really he wasn't. He was making things worse. And Bob was just trying to keep him out of danger because he's a kid, you know.
But the way he kind of just throws the kid behind this like police car is like, you're my hero. Why are you being mean to me?
Yeah. Like, in his eyes, you know, he's just trying to help and everything. And Bob doesn't really, like, give him a reason, like, why he isn't helping. But in his mind, he's like, I was helping this person. Why am I being punished for it?
Yeah, like, because really, Syndrome is still a child when he grows up.
He is.
Like, look at this outfit. Like, he looks goofy.
He does. He's, like, trying to be the superhero that he always wanted to be.
But he just can't.
No, he can't. And, like, his reason for, like, as a villain also makes sense because, you know, this person that he looked up to shunned him, was mean to him, and so he's just kind of like, well, then I'm going to make it to where everyone can be super. I'm going to show him that, like, I can be, like, the better superhero, and I'm going to use my technology to show that.
And when everyone's super, no one's super.
Yeah.
Which
makes sense.
Makes sense. Like, he's just a businessman.
He is.
It's kind of, I actually like that. Like, he's more of a businessman. Like, oh, you know, if I stage this thing, it's kind of like a war puppeteer. And like,
yeah.
If there's like conflicts, I can get money out of this and fund my technology, which you can see, like, he'd get rich off of war.
Yeah, exactly. And you can see, like, this little kid of him as, like, a villain. Because at this point, he's probably, like, in his 20s.
Yeah.
Which, that's still pretty young. So, it, like, shows how much of, like, how young he still is by, like, cracking jokes and all that.
This is too good.
This is too good.
I love the voice actor. It's just like the redneck comes out. It's like, what is this kid?
Yeah.
But, you know, it's a really good villain. Like, he also represents something to Mr. Incredible, and that's... It kind of represents the outcomes of his arrogance.
Yeah.
Because I was so arrogant, and, like, I didn't, like, control my anger and everything, I caused a lot of these other superheroes to... I mean, he didn't cause them. It's not his fault.
It was a butterfly effect in a way, but not really.
Yeah, it's kind of this butterfly effect of, if I treated this kid nicer, or, like, more maturely, and instead of, like, throw him in the back of a police car and just be rude to him, chances are, like, all those other superheroes would not be dead.
Yeah. And another thing I love about, like, Syndrome is that even though he's a goofy villain, he's still really smart.
And scary.
And scary. Like, one point whenever he basically is trying to, like, kill Bob, you know, Bob, like, dives into a river, and so he sends a bomb down there to, like, kind of explode, and then he sends another little device down there to make sure that he's dead.
Yeah.
Like, he double checks and all that.
Yeah. He's very intelligent in the way he gets superheroes, like, oh, you're a superhero. Well, come here, we have a escaped robot, but that's really to just train the AI of the robots.
Yeah, to get it stronger.
To perfect it. And that makes total sense.
It does.
You lead them on to, oh, robot, I can be a hero again. Kill them. You learn how to advance this AI to make it stronger.
Yeah. Like, every time you kill it, you basically just make it stronger.
Yeah, like, even Raj said that. The longer you fight it, the smarter it becomes.
Yeah. Because it's, like, always learning.
Makes total sense. Isn't confusing at all. Perfect.
Yeah.
And I kind of like the twist of, oh, the nice person is the villain. It's like the nice person's working for the villain.
Yeah, I like that. Because you think at first that she's going to be the villain in this, but no, she's just working for the villain.
Yeah, it's Syndrome. And also, like, I'll talk about next review, but of how the villain sucked. But Syndrome was scary.
He was. Like the scene where they basically like barge in to find him holding Jack Jack. That scene is actually like really creepy because you can see he is mad. He is done with it, but he's still smiling.
Like,
he's still laughing.
there's this even like red tint to the scene.
Yeah.
For, like the background, and it's like, even though he's a goofy character, which I love,
Yeah.
he can still pull off that. Oh, he is scary.
Yeah.
He will hurt me.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and I mean, he's freaking killed so many superheroes already. That's actually pretty scary. Like, once he's done with them, he literally disposes of them.
Yeah, he wants to train the Jack Jack to be his successor, his
Yeah.
sidekick. It's kind of funny that he kind of wants Incredible's son to be his sidekick. Like, well,
Yeah.
you didn't let me be yours. I'm gonna take your own shot, be mine.
Yeah. And I like that. But, like, again, that scene, like, honestly creeps me out because, like, his whole laughter and, like, how he's still smiling and all that when he's mad, like, I think that's the scariest kind of, like, being angry. When you're still laughing, when you're still smiling.
Yeah.
Because that shows, like, the person that, like, you have snapped.
Kind of like, I never watched Batman, the Joker is kind of creepy because he's this clown, like, who's incredibly smart.
Yeah. He's insanely intelligent.
Yeah. And that's what Syndrome. Everything makes sense about him.
Yeah.
The woman whose name I even forgot in Incredibles 2 does not.
Yeah.
That's
But
next video.
that's next video, you know?
But yeah, perfect. Really, 10 out of 10 villain. I actually just wish there was more of Syndrome.
I really do too. I'm kind of sad that he basically was killed off in the end, but his stuff was pretty, like, good in itself.
The death, I don't know if ironic's the right word.
Yeah, I don't know if ironic's the right word, but, you know, earlier in the film we see, like, Edna saying, like, no capes, you know, because capes always lead to disaster.
Yeah.
And he wears a cape.
Yeah, all these heroes died because of capes, of accidents.
Yeah.
And here's a guy who's made it his life goal to kill all heroes, designs a cape that killed heroes.
Basically. And in the exact same way that it killed one of the heroes too. Like, he dies by, like, an airplane, you know, propeller kind of thing. And another hero that, like, wore a cape died the same way.
If you think about it, like, Bob killed Syndrome. He just
really
grabbed the
did.
car and just chucked it there. It's like,
He did.
I don't want to kill this guy.
Like, Syndrome actually wouldn't have been dead if Bob didn't chuck the car, because he was about to get into, like, the aircraft, and suddenly a car comes at him, he loses his balance, and then the cape snags on the propeller.
If he just, like, stepped into the thing, I think he'd be fine.
Yeah, but he just kind of stared there in awe.
Yeah. His death is, to me, I find it funny, but I think the death is just, like, really perfect.
Yeah, like, if he had to die, I'm glad it was, like, done that way.
Yeah.
Because it was a nod to something earlier. And, of course, like, his own, like, the history repeating itself, basically.
Yeah, so now I'm sending villain, in my opinion.
Agree. He's really good.
I just wish there's more of him, because he's just, there's nothing about him that I can really be like, here's a flaw, here's what it makes sense, like, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah. I really wish there was more of him.
So, going on to, like, little details of the movie, and, like, animation. The animation's beautiful.
The animation's really good. As someone who, like, does art, usually whenever, like, I look at films made from back then, you know, the animation's still good, but you can definitely see in that time that has, like, taken its toll on it in terms of how it looks compared to now. But even, like, this one, even though I can kind of see, like, how old the animation is, I can still appreciate it for what it is, because the animation is still, like, really good. Like, the hair, the way it's animated is pretty.
There are a few things I think the animation didn't look good.
Yeah.
When they're in the water, they look rubbery.
They do. And see, that's like my like little thing with older animation is that it tends to look like rubbery or plasticky looking when like comes to animation, but that's also because of its time.
Yeah. Because it still looks good, I think the animation still holds up.
Yeah, I agree. And it's kind of hard for like an older film to do that. Like the animation
Yeah.
still like holds up pretty well in today compared to like movies now.
Veggie Tales.
VeggieTales. Oh my goodness, yeah.
The blue guy from Veggie Tales.
Freaking
Ed the blue guy. Look up Ed the blue guy. He's so weird.
he is. Like, I would ramble about this, but that's not what this video is about.
Yeah, look up Ed the blue guy from like Veggie Tales.
Yeah, maybe I'll tell that story sometime on this channel.
But yeah, the animation still holds up. Also, it's so pleasing to watch.
It is. It is very pleasing. Like the way, like the art style and all that really fits for its theme.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite parts of the animation is the way Frozone's actions are animated.
Yeah, that's my favorite too, actually.
Because, like, it's so fluid and it's very, very pleasing to look at, like you said earlier. Because, and it's, like, perfect for that because this thing is ice. Ice is, like, very pretty. It's very, like, glidey and all that. And that's what his movements are. It's very, very fluid and all that.
Yeah, the way he moves just feels right.
Mm-hmm.
All the action sequences are fun to watch.
Yeah.
Alright, like, there's really nothing wrong. Animation, like...
No.
There's some little problems with the water, but that's fine.
Yeah.
Even the hair, like, moves.
The hair is, like, actually, like, animated pretty well. Like, it's not too stringy looking. Like, it's not too piecey. It pulls together very, very well, in my opinion. But also still looks realistic. Like, one thing I noticed while we're watching the movie is that, like, Helen's hair, you can see, like, strands of it and all that. And how it's kind of, like, not completely smooth and straight. It's kind of curly. It's very, like, very realistic looking for hair of that time.
When Dash is running on the water and going through the cave and goes up, you see, like, the hair is going behind them, but then when they kind of, like, when a guy gets in front of him, he starts running back, the hair moves back on his face. Like,
yeah.
They actually made hair follow physics, and I like that.
Yeah, not just, like, be very weird.
So, yeah, like, everything is just, like, feels right about the movie.
I agree.
Helen, like, her powers being very stretchy, feels right.
Yeah, and speaking about that, whenever, like, after she, goes back to her original form after, like, being, like, forming into a boat to take them to land, you can see that, like, she's still kind of stretched out from, like, all the hard work and from how long it was and, like, how, like, she moves. You can see that, like, her power itself kind of, like, had taken a toll on her by the way she moves and all that.
Yeah, I actually noticed that. I'll just pay attention next time I watch Incredibles. But yeah, everything feels right about the movie. I just want more Syndrome.
Yeah.
This is too good.
Got busy.
Looks like you two got busy.
He's so freak. I love his lines. He has really great lines.
All his lines feel like right.
They do.
Just this kind of egotistical redneck, like, scientist.
Yeah.
Which doesn't make any sense at all. He sounds redneck.
Yeah.
This is like 1960s in, like, New York.
Yeah. And that's, like, another thing to talk about. Like, what if, like, my theory is, like, what if the actor itself, because I haven't looked at the voice actors and all that, but what if, like, the voice actor itself was, like, redneck and all that, and it just kind of, like, came out during that moment?
This is too good. Actually, I'm gonna look this up. I wanna know who voiced him.
I do too.
Sorry about the background. Jason Lee.
Huh.
Wait, I think that guy has done, like, redneck stuff.
Oh, that would make sense.
So yeah.
Alright.
Okay, so the voice actor, I think what you said is right.
I guess so. We actually had not looked at the voice actors, and we didn't know who they were before this.
So yeah, Jason Lee even looks redneck.
He does.
So I think that's what happened. His voice accent did it. Yeah, my name is Earl.
Yeah, okay, so he might have that accent in real life and was trying to hide it from the movie to play it, and I guess it just came out during that part.
Yeah, This is too good. Got busy.
Yeah.
But yeah, even the lines. Okay, it's a good villain when the lines are just quotable and just
They
fun
are.
to say.
They are, like, as you've been hearing us, we've been quoting them a lot during this video because we just love quoting them so much. They're so fun to say.
But overall, it's a fantastic movie. It's incredible. How incredible? It's incredible.
Yeah, it's super incredible.
Any final thoughts?
No, I think we covered it all.
Alright. Thank you for watching. This has been Rayman and
Blue.